Talk about my favorite fish head setup. Right now I've been running a ALX Deputy. It's a 7'1" medium heavy, 4+. It's a great rod for that medium offshore depth range, about 20-25 foot. If you go any deeper than that, I recommend the toad face. Normally I throw a 1/2 ounce fish head in Arkansas shiner color and some sort of small 3.5 inch paddle tail. Here's a skinny dipper. It's in shiner color as well. So the fishing the fish head out here in the summer on Lanier, water temp right now is getting up in the mid 80s. Your fish are either going to suspend or be holding the bottom. So a lot of times they'll suspend over humps and suspend over brush. If you graph over a hump or the brush pile and you know that fish are suspended, normally this 1/2 ounce fish head sinks about 2 feet per second. And when you count it down to a certain depth and do a slow retrieve like this, that fish head will stay at a constant depth the entire time, almost all the way to the boat. So normally what I recommend to do, if you know the fish are suspended, count it down to their depth and just do a slow, consistent reel all the way back. Pretty much the same concept if you know they're hugging the bottom. Cast it out, let it hit the bottom and slow roll in the bottom, and that blade will actually tick slowly on the bottom and get their attention. Concerning the hook set, a lot of people have different opinions on it. Personally, what's been working for me, a lot of times you'll feel the bite, you'll feel a tick and then the line will go slack, or other times they'll just load up on it. For the instances when they load up on it, you're just gonna have your rod tip down at a slight angle like this with the slow reel, and as you see that tip start bending, then you can kind of lean into it almost like you'd set the hook on a jig. So in a way, it's kind of like a crankbait jig bite where that tip will start loading like a crankbait and you can just kind of pull into it from there. Other concept, if you feel a tick and the line goes slack, normally that's a fish. You need to catch up till you feel the weight of the fish and then set the hook. These things have a pretty good hookup ratio. Like I said, the hook style is pretty much like a jig where it's just one offset hook that comes up. So your hookup ratio is pretty good, and especially out here in Lanier, spot swallow it.